chance we share beneath the stars above for a moment.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Yes, that's how you say it. Welcome to Demo Africa 2015. Some love, yeah. How are you all feeling? How many of you are from Lagos? And how many of you are not from Lagos? So it's almost 50-50, yeah? Great, great. I want to welcome you to edition of Africa, our fourth edition, and really exciting companies are going to be launched this, but also some really good speakers and insightful investors who will be sharing their insights on how to build businesses and how to scale them. Demo Africa started in 2012. The first event was in Nairobi, Kenya. The second event was in Nairobi. But always we've seen growth. We've seen growth in several ways. Interest. About 300 companies applying to come and launch a demo. This year, we had about 650 companies applying to come to launch a demo. We've seen growth in the quality of startups that are applying for demo, and the quality that the quality of startups that so some of them, they've got amazing products which have the ability to actually scale on a global level. What they need is you guys. They need mentors, they need investors, they need coaches, and they need people who can tell them, hey, you're doing a good thing. So I encourage you to engage with these guys, engage with them, see what they're doing, and see how you can make the next generation of entrepreneurs from Africa world beaters. And with those few remarks, I want to now call upon a few guys, a few people, good people, who will come on stage and welcome you even more. It's African to welcome you like 16 times. So we'll welcome you until you feel welcome. So I will call the Director General of NIDA, our main sponsors for this event, Mr. Peter Jack. Mr. Peter Jack, please. Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Communication and Technology, ex-Minister, Communication and Technology, our distinguished visitors from all over the world, our our brothers and sisters in Africa. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'd like to welcome all of you to this event, Den Africa. We are delighted to host you all, our friends and partners within and outside the continent for this very important technology event. Demo Africa, established by the U.S. Department of State, African Development Bank, Microsoft, Nokia, World Bank, Infodel, and others. It's a Pan-African technology event launching in terms of innovation and entrepreneurship across Africa. This is an event where African ICT startups and entrepreneurs have the opportunity to show to Africa and the rest of the world their innovative products that are addressing specific challenges within our continent, and perhaps with potential for export to other parts of the world with similar challenges. Africa is a blessed continent of over 1.2 billion people. It possesses a huge market potential for trade and investment, a huge opportunity for growth and improvement. And our youth are beginning to rise up to explore the power of ICT to create a new lifestyle for themselves. As you all know, IT offers a tremendous opportunity for job and wealth creation, building the value chain that will deliver these end results has become or should become the collective responsibility of many players across the world. Through ICT, great companies have been born in the history of mankind. Companies such as Microsoft, Oracle, Nokia, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Zynga, to mention a few. Even at home in Nigeria, we have witnessed the emergence of big companies like Computer Warehouse Group, InterSwitch, System Specs, Precise Financial System, PFS, Jumia, Pagatech, Wakana, Jobman, Allied Soft, Synforest, and a host of others. And some of these startups are from one of our major initiatives, the Idea Hub in Lagos and in Calabar. The Idea Hub has attracted up to $10 million. One of the startups graduated from Idea Hub has actually attracted up to $10 million investment. And the list continues. Out of obscurity, from garages, from campus rooms, from coffee shops, from lecture rooms, technology giants have doggedly and painstakingly trodden the lonely and not too friendly parts of innovation and entrepreneurship to become what they are today. As the saying goes, the reward of hard work is success. Today, we will be witnessing again at this event the birth of new technology products and services that probably might or will become high-growth technology companies in the years to come. What the advice to you is that you are about to begin a new journey in your entrepreneurial quest. The only thing that will distinguish you in time to come is your commitment and hard work to pursue your vision without failing in the face of diversity. It is a great privilege for us to be hosting this epic Pan-African yet global technology event today in Nigeria. for the second time in a row to support the Nigerian startups as well as the African startups that have come to this event to launch their products. On behalf of our supervising ministry and entire media management, I welcome you to Nigeria, the largest country in Africa. We are so very happy to welcome you to Demo Africa 2015. We know you have traveled wide and far to attend this event. We are hopeful that you will take some time to enjoy your stay in Nigeria. Thank you and God bless. Thank you very much, Mr. Jack. Media has been really helpful and they've been supporting the entrepreneurs, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. So thank you very much for your support. Now I'll call upon one guy who's traveled a few thousand miles away to come to Demo, and he's a guy I really respect and try to emulate in terms of what he does, not what he looks like. And that is none other than Neil Silverman, President Demo US.
So if Harry wants to emulate and look like me, what's the first thing he's going to have to change? That's right, his height. It's a great honor to be here today. I'm truly humbled. Welcome all of you back to Demo Africa. As Honorable Minister said, and I think he took all of the words, he really understands the essence of what this event is all about. It is our second time here in Nigeria. It's our fourth year on the continent of Africa. When we began the journey thinking about this event over 7 years ago, we envisioned a platform that could unite the tech community on the entire continent. It was a very ambitious undertaking with the support of our original partner with Microsoft and the State Department. The idea of the Launchpad Africa was conceived. So this event isn't just about today, it's really been a journey over the last 8 years with our fourth year here. And I'm just incredibly excited to see the progress, the excitement, the awareness of this conference, because it's so much more than a conference. What we've done is planted the seed to create a community that can unite innovation from all around the continent and truly all around the world. So Demo here in Africa is in its fourth year, but I'm also excited to be here celebrating our 25th anniversary of the Demo conference. So thank you. And that's really honoring IDG, the company that owns Demo, and their vision over 25 years ago to create this platform. It's just a platform, that's all it is. It's not my conference, it's your conference. It's a place that we could bring the community together to seed innovation. So looking back over 25 years, let's take a little walk down memory lane. Companies like the Palm Pilot, before PDA was launched on the Demo stage. Mark Benioff took the stage and announced this crazy thing called Salesforce, Salesforce.com. Now 175,000 people were in the US just 2 weeks ago for Reinforce's event. And he mentioned Demo as the place that he launched his conference. E-Trade, WebEx, Netscape, Adobe, Shazam, Pandora, Waze. I'm trying to bring it up into a future time of companies that some of the younger people here would recognize. They all launched on the Demo stage. And I have no doubt in my mind, after spending time here on the continent, that the next companies that will go on to do what I call the next household names will take place here in Africa. Why not? People ask me, what's the difference? What seems different? I say, other than what Harry looks like, a little shorter than me, it's the same, whether I'm in China, in Brazil, Pakistan, Russia, Silicon Valley. It's the same. It's a big stage, which is a platform to launch innovation. Innovation that can go on to serve your local marketplace, Africa, the continent, that's big enough. There's a lot of customers there. And globally, because there are no boundaries with technology. And because we're in 7 countries outside the United States as well and all around the world, we are truly a global launch platform, which means if you launch on this stage, you then can leverage the platform in any other markets outside of Africa. So whether you now are an entrepreneur that wants to enter the Chinese marketplace, please come as my guest and do so on the stage in China, or in Brazil, or in the States. My vision of this future, when all the companies recognize the opportunity that's taking place here, you're not going to just see African companies on the Demo African stage. You'll see companies here from China, from the US, from Brazil, because we are a global community of import and export, idea and trade. And together, we're not just growing companies, but we're the engine of growth, of job creation, of changing the world. So with that, I'm just truly honored to be here, to see everyone here, and to see this conference grow. Have a great 2 days, meet some of these companies. I've seen it over the last 24 hours. We're going to see some incredible technology. To KRA, for driving this forward, leading the mission. Thank you all, and have a great 2 days.
Thank you very much, Dave. The knee is just about 1.5 inches taller than me, but that's a big deal. So thank you very much. Putting together events like this can be a challenge, and we normally bring in a lot of partners, but we also work with the governments, and we also work with people who are committed to the cause. In Nigeria, for the last 2 years, we've been working with the local organizing committee. Our committee is responsible for most of the things that you see. That committee has made all the linkages, it makes all the introductions to the different stakeholders to be interested, but also to take part in whatever we're doing. This committee is chaired by Yele Academy, and I would like to bring on stage. Yele, my brother from another mother. Hi. This thing is working. It works. Well, a very good morning. It's a very good to be here. We said the age of growth and job creation. I don't know whether everybody agrees with that, because a lot of people think that technology reduces jobs. But one thing I do know for sure is that technology and what we are doing is gradually taking us back to the Garden of Eden, where life is supposed to be easy for everyone, things are supposed to be done seamlessly, and that's exactly the way God created it to be for us. So I know for sure that Demo Africa is achieving that. And on that note, I say a very good morning. Well, I'd like to really do no protocol, but I recognize the Permanent Secretary Ministry of Communications Technology. I recognize the pioneer and immediate past, the Minister of whose vision today we stand on, and my brother, the DG of India, and the representative of the Department of State, representatives of the press, and of course, the Indian startups, ladies and gentlemen who are here to be with us. So it's my pleasure once again to welcome you to our beautiful Lagos, and I'm sure that you love it because I've had conversations with some of you who want to come back again and again, and I say, please feel free, come back to Lagos, and I do believe that other than what you hear about what happens in Nigeria, the battles, the Boko Haram, you also see the very beautiful and positive aspects of our country, Nigeria. So I welcome you to the hospitality of Lagos anytime you choose to come. Over the next few days, we are going to see the benefit of the unveiling of some very good technology, a lot of hard work that young men and young ladies have put together. And like I said, these are the kind of things that we know for sure are going to change the world for better. And more importantly to us here today, we change the narrative of Africa and make it very clear that indeed Africa has come of age, and yes, Africa can. Africa is not just the dark continent. Africa is a continent. Africa is a continent of opportunities. Indeed, we have used the agricultural revolution and possibly the industrial revolution. But what we are doing today gives me hope that we will definitely not miss on the technology revolution and the information revolution. And not only are we not going to miss out, it is my hope and belief that Nigeria, Africa will be very major drivers of this new wave that's coming. I want to acknowledge my colleagues who have worked with me very tirelessly and assiduously on this LOC. For the past 2 years, we've become brothers and sisters. We've had our highs and our lows. We've gone through periods of tension. We've gone through periods of fun. But more importantly, today we are all proud. And I believe by the end of this program tomorrow we will be a lot more. We'll be a lot prouder if there's a language like that. I thank you very much. I'll mention for the records, Mr. Chineye Mbauzuku, I think is probably somewhere. Mr. Abdul Okunowa, I won't miss your name this time around. Thank you very much. You've been a very great pillar of support. Mrs. Elena, I appreciate it. She brings honor to it. She brings the light. She energizes the meetings. I thank you very much. Aristotle Lemino, thank you very much. Lola, I know she's making things happen. I really appreciate you. You are always there. Even when you are unable to attend any meeting, every meeting you get first to come. And when he's not able to come, he sends an email. And when he doesn't, even when he sends the email, he will call and make his contributions. Thank you, Dr. Vincent Olatuji. And those who are on sabbatical, and we understand why they are sabbatical. So we have Victor Kido. Thank you very much. Oh, Tuji is around. To the election, thank you very much. And Mr. Professor, I really do appreciate you. I really know that in your individual reflections, you remember all the times we have together. But much more importantly, I celebrate your creativity. I salute your courage. Much more, I appreciate that. I really thank you for accepting me to be captain of this team. I thank you so much for sharing your time with me, sharing your skill with me, and today we make Africa proud. I recognize the immense contribution and support of Ebo Tapan. I think it must be around my technical assistant, of course my daughter, Kirita. I recognize Confidence Taiwo, who have helped us manage the office, who will ensure that all our visitors are there, all visa applicants are right here, and everything works, all communications are on time. I really do appreciate your good work. I appreciate Karen Yeri of Baptist. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And of course, Eventful, I'm very proud of you. You give me a lot of hope. And then to the young startups, it's a beautiful journey so far. Just like Carly said, about 50 applications. 30 are here. Those are the best. And I want you to appreciate one thing. This is only the beginning for you. I want you to know that there's still life. But please, today, a good number of you are launching. We are releasing you to the world. See, just like Will has said here, I want you to remember when you become who you are going to become, that Africa gave you the platform. And please come back to Africa. Let's develop Africa together. Let's make Africa great again. I really do believe in it. To the investor community, thank you very much for coming. And I want you to appreciate that Africa is a very good ground for you, very safe for you to invest. But I want you to please understand that we want you here on the call. We want to learn from you. We want you to listen to us because we can tell you that we have a whole lot to also tell you. We want you to learn from us. But much more importantly, we want you to stay with us. We don't want just a very short time partnership. We want to be able to assimilate each other and to become excellent partners. Of course, I must pay tribute to Dr. Mrs. Omobola Johnson. Thank you very much. Today, we stand on this vision of Demo Africa. I know it was our vision as Honorable Minister of Comtech. Why shouldn't Nigeria get this? So very passionate about it. Today we see it, and I said to you privately, and I say today publicly again, the labor of love will never be vain. I say to you, you're a woman of timber and caliber, but what more importantly, a woman of character and integrity. And I'm very proud to call you my sister. Thank you very much for making this happen. I appreciate the support and so much understanding of my brother, the permanent secretary of the ministry, Dr. Lau. Thank you very much for all those administering here, even in hotel lobbies. You always spend time, you ask us what's happening, you give all the support. Thank you very much. And of course, my DG, the honorable DG of NIDA, thank you for your support so much. Thank you for making this happen. Thank you for looking after our back. Thank you for giving us all the assurances that we needed. Long live Demo Africa. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live Africa. Thank you very much. Welcome. Long live Africa. Long live Demo Africa. Thank you, Yele. The KPIs for, I've been coming to Nigeria now for about 3 years, quite rapid. And the KPIs for this other than getting a successful Demo Africa was to get a Nigerian name, and it had to have the longest name possible, to include all the 26 alphabets, and to send to chieftaincy. So luckily today I was ascended to chieftaincy thanks to Yele. Now, how many of you know about Lions Africa? Okay, so Constance Connie from the USA department will come on stage and tell us about Lions Africa. This is an initiative that started about 3 years ago, and Demo is actually one of the flagship products of the Lions Africa. So please welcome on stage. Can we have Mobolaji, Adio, and Victor sitting next to me? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Again, I'm Connie Junis, and I'm a director from the Office of Global Partnerships at the U.S. Department of State in Washington, D.C. And for those of you who are not familiar with the U.S. Department of State, because it's been mentioned a couple times, or are not American, for example, the U.S. Department of State is the American government version of your Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So, Department of State, main diplomatic and foreign affairs agency of the U.S. As Harry mentioned, Lions Africa was launched several years ago. The purpose of Lions Africa was to bring together the best of what the government could bring together with the best of what the private sector could bring to the table, all for the purpose of enabling technology and innovation entrepreneurship on the continent. You've heard from the past speakers already about what entrepreneurship and innovation can do for the continent in terms of job creation and, quite frankly, solving problems. That's what all of these products here today do. That's what everything that's ever launched on a demo stage or in any platform anywhere is, strives to do, is to solve the problem, big or small. Whether it's a problem in your family, in your household, in your community, in your country, or regional, or the world. I'm not going to go on and on and on, but what I did want to do was to give you sort of snapshots of what's been happening throughout 2022. 2015 was a very, very big year for entrepreneurship globally. And people often say, well, why is the U.S. government involved? Aside from all of the types of things that you've heard me say, quite frankly, if we want to be frank, America is really good at entrepreneurship. And something, especially the cross-section of entrepreneurship and technology and innovation, something we've been doing for quite a while. So that's something that we feel is one of our greatest strengths. But like I said, entrepreneurship has been big, but 2015, quite frankly, was a huge year for entrepreneurship and technology on the African continent. It wasn't just a big year, it was a phenomenal year. And as you all probably know, the White House-driven Global Entrepreneurship Summit was held for the first time on the African continent in Kenya back in July. It was a bit of a homecoming, if you will, to President Obama. Very historic visit, the first visit for a sitting U.S. president to Kenya. So that was a very, very big deal. Lions Africa played a significant part in that, driving some of the programming. We were able to place a number of our Lions members in panels and as speakers and as facilitators of sessions. One thing that I heard a lot during that programming was the influence that Lions had as a partnership, that they hadn't quite understood the power of Lions until something like the GES came about, or until people actually came to a venue like Demo to see the power of what was actually happening on stage, and quite frankly, off stage as well. Another big thing that happened this year, do we have our A-brand people here? Yeah. And Candace and Ben White and all these people, was the launch of A-brand. So everybody, please, a round of applause for that. The launch of the African Business Angels Network, huge deal, because it didn't just happen overnight. This was in the making for a number of years. As Neil mentioned, Demo Africa just didn't pop up overnight. It was a labor of love that happened over a number of years. We were able to facilitate a number of angel investor summits that happened across the continent throughout the summer, all sort of as a drumbeat of events leading to yesterday's investor summit, which was wonderful if you were able to attend it. Quickly, while I'm on that, can I get a show of hands of who the investors are in the room? Can you raise your hands? Can you actually stand up really quickly, please? Very, very quickly. I just want you to stand up. Wonderful. I just put a giant target on your heads so that our startups can come chase you down throughout the next 2 days. These are the guys these are the men and women you need to talk to, okay, over the next 2 days. And it's very important that VC for Africa, EBAN, came together to help facilitate all of these investors to come here, because as mentioned before, every single person in this room is an important part of that value chain. It's not just the startup, it's not just an investor. It is the investor's time, their experience, their networks, their reputation, their energy. It's the press. So if you're part of the media, please write stories, interview these people, interview the investors, interview the startups. If you represent a PR firm, a media firm, is there anything you can do in partnership with any of these startups, or in fact any of the investors? Every single important part of that value chain across the board. And lastly, just two very, very quick things. In the midsummer, we rolled another sort of marquee Lions initiative. It was brand new. It was called Women in Science STEAM Camp, YSI. And what we did was we brought together 30 American high school girls with 90 Pan-African high school girls. We mashed them all together and we threw them into a rural camp in the shore of Rwanda for 3 weeks. Now these are girls ranging in age from 14 to 18 years old. And the purpose of that camp was to groom our next generation of innovators, and also to empower young girls on the continent and around the world so that when they leave that camp and they finish high school, they aspire to pursue something that perhaps they didn't realize was possible or in their path before. So where's Microsoft? Is Amrat here? Please stand up. Please, everybody give Amrat a round of applause, because without Microsoft for Africa, and this is the truth, Microsoft for Africa sent a team of women engineers from around the world, completely voluntary. Nobody asked them to. And they took their time, landed in Gashora, and spent an entire week teaching 120 teenage girls how to code. Some of these girls had some coding experience. Some of these girls didn't even know what the word coding meant. But without Microsoft there, what happened was magic, quite frankly. They provided the laptops for the event. They provided the manpower. In second week, Intel taught the robotics. By the third week, teenage girls were coming up with innovations, honestly, that could rival some of the startups on the stage today. It was incredible. And the engineers there knew that. They were themselves absolutely amazed. So that's just another, they were taught about entrepreneurship, they were taught marketing, they were taught how to pitch, they were taught about how to use social media responsibly. I mean, they were taught about blogging. If I were 15 and had that kind of knowledge, who knows where any of us would be? We were all 15 and had that empowerment. I just wanted to say, getting these startups ready here was also another Lions initiative. VC for Africa helped groom them in through the application process. And I want to acknowledge Stephen Ozibo of the African Technology Foundation. You got to stand up, because where's your team? You got to stand up. This guy, ever since we chose the final 30, this guy and his team have been spending the last 2 months learning them, and it's been happening over Skype, it's been happening on telephone calls. They've been looking at their business plan, their financials, what was working, what looked like it was, off kilter, what looked great. And for the last 3-4 days, I don't think Stephen has gotten more than 5 hours sleep, because I'm not joking. This guy has dedicated his time and energy and his team's time and energy to getting them ready for the stage, to getting them ready to do their demo in a way that really gets their point across clearly. So all of that is to say that, when we talk about entrepreneurship, I often hear the word passion. You hear it a lot, especially in the tech world. You hear startups talk about being passionate, and I think that is great and it's necessary. But passion is freedom. Partnership. I like to use it with love, because love is enduring. And the reason I say that is because the investors in the room today, the startups in the room, the African Technology Founders, Microsoft for Africa, ABAN, the entire networks that are here today, it's not just fleeting, and I think even more than just passion. Really, you don't give this much to something in terms of your time and energy unless you love it. And I think that is the way I would characterize the Lions Africa Partnership. There are things going on into the future, so I've been going on for a little bit. If you're interested in talking about the Lions Africa Network, the Lions Africa Partnership, or to any of our partners actually today, and I think we just the last 3 years, and like I said, as long as love endures. Thank you.
Thank you, Connie. So I guess I have a bit of an understanding of what Lions is and what we're trying to do. I don't want to switch. No, I'm kidding. And now, since we started doing demo, we've been trying to encourage or catalyze the whole investment community to come onto the table and see opportunities that young technology entrepreneurs have to offer. This year, I must say, we've seen a good outing of local investors, and we pray that we will see more of that. We will see more investors coming to the table, and we will see more investors interested in what is happening within the tech world. There's real opportunities. Now, we go with investors, and we're going to have a discussion with Victor Kimbo, and that will be Mr. Mobilize Federe. Please come to the stage and have a discussion about investment, entrepreneurship, and local. These guys sound very excited. Yeah? Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Harry. Thank you. Cheers. Please, boy. Good morning. Good morning. This is really exciting being here. It's your first November, yeah? Yes, it is. Okay. Yes, it is. So we used a break last year. It was very exciting from superstars that they are launched here. And it's really good to be back here. You might want to introduce yourself to this group. I feel I don't really need to introduce myself. This is all about you, all right? You're better known in the investment community than you are in the tech startup community. So who is Bolaji here? Thank you very much. Before I do that, let me just acknowledge some people here. I think I just want to acknowledge the former Honorable Minister for Communications and Technology, Dr. Johnson, and also yes. And also the current permanent secretary, so Lauka, and also the DG of MITA, Dr. Jack. I just want to sort of acknowledge them for their tireless effort in helping to support the community, including the tech community and also the investment community, in regards to tech financing. Excellent. So about me, I'm the MD for Kuramo Capital in Nigeria. What that means is that I lead and help drive our efforts across West Africa. Kuramo Capital was the vision of Bangladesh. We founded Kuramo Capital in 2010. Our wallet used to manage the endowment fund for Technical Institute in New York, and the reason why we started Kuramo was because we saw a gap, we saw a knowledge gap, with institutional investors in the developed world who want to access, get exposure to Africa. So he decided to fund Kuramo Capital as a way to aggregate capital from the developed, from institutional investors across the world, and also to sort of act as a partner, to help them source for investments and also monitor the investments. Okay. And the reason why that is important is because it makes financing, it makes this funding a bit stickier. So when you have people that understand the landscape, then the funding that we have, it's not taken out, because of knee-jerk reactions. It just makes the fund stickier. Okay, cool. Yes, cool. Yes. Boy, can you tell us a bit about this? I know that you're managing a lot of money. I didn't know that. I think after you talk about your fund, some of these startups there would be your phone off the hook. So can you talk about your current round and the size of it and what's interesting in the portfolio and what you're looking at from here? So we're on a second fund. The first fund, we closed at about just under $150 million. Second fund, so $150 million. So just to be sure. So the second fund, we did the first close at about close to about $200 million, but our target is about $300 million. doing. The things that we look at, frankly, the way we look at technology, because technology is actually, in our view, very unique. It comes across all the different sectors. So we know technology safe. So we look at, sectors, where and take advantage of where technology can be an enabler. I'll give you an example. We believe, so for example, financial services, logistics. Because when you look at Jumia, Honda, and Co. They're really sort of logistics. The engine room is really logistics, supply chain, right? But they have a digital overlay. So that's really technology. And we're also looking for entrepreneurs that are trying to solve large problems, because it's important that business at scale large problems in process, just capital market infrastructure, and just technology around aggregation of services for healthcare is one. And I'll sort of tell you an anecdote of the opportunities that's in my own story. So I think it was a year ago, I had a friend, he had an accident in school. Thank God it wasn't serious, but when she had the accident, she crashed the car, and, her head was swollen, but she managed to come out of the car, and the people just gathered around her. No one really did much, right? So she had this wherewithal to call a friend of ours, who came, we was over there. But now the challenge now was, okay, her head is swollen, where do we take her? We called one of the hospitals, one of the, well of known hospitals. They told us that, look, we don't have a neurologist. Actually, we took her there. My friends took her there. And they told them that, there's no neurologist. So that's like about 20 minutes wasted, right? So the question is now, where else do we go? Right? So luckily for one of our friends, he actually knew someone at St. Nicholas. Okay. That St. Nicholas was the savior. So the problem here is that so much time was wasted. Information. Lack of information, of emergency response. There's no number to call. There's no way to know, what the capacity of, each hospital. So that's sort of like the way that we sort of look at opportunities. You have to be able to solve real problems.
And I like to think out of that near tragedy, you've seen an opportunity, and maybe there's a startup in here or somewhere paying attention to this that might be able to address that opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Fantastic. I'm going to just segue off a little bit and talk a bit about your founder, about Wale Adoshin, who was last November named to President Obama's Advisory Council. That's really interesting.
Yes.
What, from your point of view, are the implications of that for investment in Africa in general, broadly, and more specifically in the technology space here?
I think just a bit about Wale. Wale has been a pioneer when it comes to investing in Africa. He's been investing in Africa since the early 90s. When Africa was in Nigeria, particularly wasn't as on everyone's tongue. So he's a pioneer in that regard. So it's really sort of it brings it all together. When he was named as President Obama was one of the advisory council, was put on the advisory council. And I think that's important because when you have someone that is an evangelist for allocating money in Africa, and someone that also experience managing money, particularly in the US, for example, that relationship is very important to make institutional investors or capital allocators comfortable to trust him, so that he can now, allocate capital to fund managers here and entrepreneurs. So it's very, very important. I think it's quite significant, in terms of aggregating capital and and helping pension funds in the US, governments, allocate money to Africa.
You guys do something interesting. You have your fund of funds, if you will, and you have a role that you play in helping fund managers sort of develop their strategies for investment.
Yeah.
Are there any trends that you are looking at in the industry that may have an impact on technology or in general in Africa that you want to just talk about briefly, especially as it relates to those who are also managing funds?
The trend that we see is that we need to create lots of jobs. Right? I think that's we just do, right? Because we're a very young population. And it's important to be able to create wealth, to be able to provide employment. But some of the bottlenecks that we see, obviously financing, and just having experienced entrepreneurs, we can scale companies.
Let's talk about financing issue. What are the challenges you think this environment faces when it comes to fundraising, funding startups? What are the issues you think?
Well, I think from the entrepreneur side, one of the things that we see in terms of challenges are just the quality of ideas.
Okay.
As I said, the ideas have to be scalable. We think the other one is just entrepreneurs that shows a certain level of domain expertise. Because again, we have to have comfort that you can scale a company and you can scale it efficiently.
Okay.
Again, we're not in Silicon Valley. There's just not a whole lot of capital here. So you have to show that you can scale efficiently. The third is just sometimes a lack of focus. As we know, everybody has a side hustle. So
this is Lagos.
Exactly. So I think it's very important to show that commitment. Building a business at a minimum can take a decade. So for us to sort of allocate money to you, we have to be very comfortable that you are going to be focused and sort of work on that business exclusively, frankly.
Okay.
And I think the lastly is just unrealistic valuations. We've seen there's this sort of difficulty for times for entrepreneurs to partner with equity. So if you're looking for partners, you have to be comfortable giving up some level of control. Because that's important. And I think honesty valuation is also something that is very important because, again, valuations are in promise. So it's important to be very realistic.
Yes, taking that as a key. There are 40 odd startups. Yeah. There's some really anxious people back there preparing their presentations, and they're going to be going on stage shortly. They all have plans to disrupt the industry, they're all going to change the world, and these guys are serious, but they're all, for a lot of them, this is a make or break thing. It shouldn't be, but that's how they see it. What would you say to them now? What advice would you have for these startups who are going to be taking the demo stage?
Well, I'll say that do big, do your homework. Try to build a team. Apart from sort of just understanding the technology aspects and the product aspects of it, try to build it that also need people with experience, people that understand how to scale a business, because that's very, very important. Because again, you can have a goal, and your goal can be from maybe you want to get to points, from point A to point B. Sometimes you have to sort of around skillness, because based
innovation around products, but there's innovation around how you scale your business efficiently. That's right. So yes, your team try to innovate around how you scale. Exactly. I'm very patient because you develop a lot of no's, but it just takes one investor. So you have to sort of develop a very big skin. Fantastic. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I'm trying to stay here all morning and keep this conversation going. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's apology at the area of Credible Capital. Thank you, Victor. Round of applause for Victor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome the permanent secretary, Ministry of Communication and Technology, Dr. Tunji Alaba. Tell me to reset the clock to 10 minutes.
Great delight for me
to welcome and to be here with our pioneer, Honorable Minister Dr. Mobile Johnson, and to assure her that the solid policy and program architecture that she set up in the ministry remain ever strong and will be our guide for a very long time to come. I'd like to acknowledge my colleague, to Jack, Migda, artists from all across Africa, our sponsors, investors, representative of the Department of State, United States, stakeholders from the ICT industry, and other distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press. I at once congratulate the startups. I wish you very well as you move into the industry. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to Demo Africa 2015. Being the second time this event is taking place in Nigeria. We are most delighted to have the privilege of hosting you again. We believe that this time around, the event is even looking better. Demo Africa has clearly become a global event and a technology launching platform that brings together young talented African ICT entrepreneurs to showcase and launch their innovative products and services before a prestigious audience of investors, technology buyers, technology enthusiasts, academia, media organization, and so on. The event also provides an opportunity for the techpreneurs to interact, network, and create partnership for their entrepreneurial development. Without doubt, ICT innovation has become a strong catalyst for sustaining economic growth across nations. It is not only indispensable for developing new products and services, but also for ensuring the survival of any business in a competitive world by providing ample opportunity for growth and profitability. This is further buttressed by the World Economic Forum Global Competitive Report of 2014-2015 that identified technological readiness and innovation, among others, as key to increasing national competitiveness and economic growth. It's therefore a delight to see that Africa as a continent is waxing stronger to embrace IT innovation and entrepreneurship force for not only boosting the level of productivity of its people, but also for creating jobs and wealth. That our world is now driven and powered by ICT is not news, and that we are in the information era is now more than reference. This is indeed a world in which the youths are not only the largest consumers of ICT content and the leading contests and ICT businesses. Over 3.2 billion people are internet users, with over 6 billion cell phone users. A company born today can become a high-growth technology company within a relatively short space of time, surpassing older and more established traditional brick and mortar businesses, revenues, and valuations. In fact, this is an era in which over 70% of the world's top 20 technology companies who are not in existence 15 years ago, like Google, Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, Salesforce, have created significant job and economic growth worth trillions of dollars. This is projected to go even further in the next couple of years. Technology is indeed changing the way we live, play, and govern and do business in dimensions that will continue to challenge our creativity and innovation. And we have got to get smarter by the day. Indeed, we are inundated with new realities of the creative and transformative power of ICT in creating jobs, improving socio-economic status, increasing national competitiveness, democratizing entrepreneurship, assisting even government to become more efficient, effective, and responsive in delivering services to the public. ICT is an enabler for all sectors and spheres of life, and we realize day by day we are prepared to embrace a law and leverage it to change things positively. From the government's perspective, we cannot afford to ignore issues that made golden heads. That is the ICT innovators, the software and hardware developers, the ICT entrepreneurs. While they are not complete without the entire ecosystem of investors, academia, mentors, and so on, we must continue to nurture them through enabling environments and platforms such as Demo Africa, the right policies and legislative framework that support their growth. I believe that Demo Africa has begun to yield some positive results for African countries that have participated since its inception. For instance, since we started in Demo Africa in 2012, Nigeria has witnessed the emergence of at least 26 ICT startups, 4 in 2013, 14 in 2014, and 8 in London this year, creating jobs, raising funds to grow their businesses, expanding the frontiers of entrepreneurship. To deepen the impact of platforms such as Demo Africa has created in different countries, we from government side must continue to support innovation and entrepreneurship through enabling policies program that will not only support the ICT entrepreneurs, but also grow the innovative ecosystem. It is high time, ladies and gentlemen, we step up and support the ICT industry through various catalytic intervention, taking cues from other nations like the United States, Britain, Israel, India, Ireland, and China, to mention just a few. The good news is that a good number of African countries already recognize the need to prioritize ICT and position this as a driver of economic growth. This has become even more done as major exporting nations experience revenue due to falling oil prices in the global market. To put this perspective and stimulate conversation on what we as Africans can and should be doing. Let us share this with you. The focus of the federal government of Nigeria, led by His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, weighs strongly on diversifying the growth of the economy, diversifying and to grow the economy, creating jobs and wealth that will improve the socio-economic life of our people, totally containing insurgency, including cybercrime, through a strengthened national security system. For us, ICT is one of the sectors that has contributed to national GDP growth from 5.646% in 2011 to 12.25% during the new National Bureau of Statistics with 6.26 growth in real terms year on year. This has not happened magically. That's strategic inputs from all stakeholders. While we are working to even strengthen the IC industry with more policy intervention and programs, the industry is also exploring and exploiting the business opportunity of our fast-growing and large class, over 40 million people according to US McKinsey, by creating market-driven ICT businesses across the country. It is our strong belief that if we strategically exploit some of these policies being implemented by government, it will provide tremendous opportunity for African entrepreneurs to experience exponential growth in the next couple of years. Some of the programs include national content development in ICT to deliberately expand the local ICT market and provide opportunity for local companies to contribute more to the products and services chain. Broadband initiative to increase the number of people using the internet for productive and commercially beneficial purposes regardless of location, social and economic status. ICT for development aimed at deliberately using ICT to drive social and economic development. Reform program across financial services such as cashless policies and biometric-based restructuring of postal and logistical services with its financial inclusion component, enactment of Cyber Security Act, fight against corruption, etc. will all help create an enlarged enabling business environment for companies and a changed mindset that puts the youth, technology, and entrepreneurship development at the heart of social and economic development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, however, for the above efforts to have the desired impact, these companies must see Africa as their market and not just confine themselves to their local communities as local champions. The continent of Africa with 54 countries, 1.2 billion people, and a national GDP of over $2.39 trillion should be your target to achieve the scale makes you a dominant player within the global vision. It is our hope that the young countries being showcased by Dem Africa represent that change and future that Africa is badly needs. The Africa that is much more prosperous, more integrated, more tolerant of its African brothers and sisters, and even more importantly, the Africa that is a net exporter of technology products and services to the rest of the world, and therefore a major global player. In ending, I must say that the timing of Dem Africa has never been better. It is coming at a time that Africa has come to realize that very survival, not just prosperity, depends on creative exploitation of ICT. As to in ICT being showcased and launched by the new ICT, I charge us all to encourage them, coincide and celebrate them, support them, and assist them to take their course to the next level for the benefit of all. Let me seize this opportunity to welcome you all to Nigeria once again for the second time of hosting this Pan-African yet global event, Demo Africa. We will have the best of fulfilling time with us here and explore our big but rich commercial capital, Lagos and beyond. To this end, I have the distinct honor to officially declare this event open and to wish us all a most rewarding event. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thanks very much, Dr. Tulu. And now I want to invite one of the people who are very instrumental in campaigning, insisting on having Demo Africa in Nigeria. But then she was the minister in charge of communication and technology. But now she's here on a completely different role. She's actually here looking for opportunities in startups. Isn't that amazing? So I want to welcome Dr. Mrs. Omobola Johnson to the stage.
morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm especially recognize the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Communication Technology and the Director General of NITSTA. Dr. Launchpad, fantastic speech, well articulated, well researched, and I hope that you're all listening very well, because he's told us how important ICT is to not only the Nigerian government, but African governments across the continent, and why it's important for these kind of events to be hosted in Africa. Yesterday I was at, as Harry said, I'm here in a completely different role. Maybe it's good that there's not a minister yet because I may not have been invited, but it's nice to be here anyway. Yesterday I was at the Africa Business Angels Network, and the president of ABAN said something. He said Africa is rising, and indeed it is rising. Despite the commodity slump, despite the oil price crash, Africa is rising. And I just wanted to add something to that. Africa is rising, and ICT is actually at the crest of that rise. ICT are important because they're going to do a number of things. When you look at any African government today, it's basically about job creation, it's security, it's entrepreneurship. And these are the things that ICT just ticks the boxes. We can solve all these issues, all these challenges that Africa has today with ICTs. And so technology becomes very, very important in Africa. Demo Africa gets bigger and better every year. The stage is bigger than it was last year. The audience is bigger than it was last year. And I suspect that the startups that we're going to see over the next few days are going to be even bigger and better than they were over the last 3 years. So congratulations to Neil, to Harry, and the rest of the Demo Africa team for putting up such a great show. And of course, to my dear Yemi and his team as well. This is absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited to be here. I think that there are two main ingredients. If we're going to support the development of ICT as an industry, that really goes beyond telecom, because we're all about the big telecoms company, all of the billions of investments that made in infrastructure. I think there are two main ingredients that need to happen, or two main components. And that, first of all, is government. And I really want to thank the Permanent Secretary and also the Director General of NITSTA for continuing to support this drive to make IT a major pillar of the Nigerian economy. As the Permanent Secretary said in his speech, there is no African country, no government, that has not recognized ICT and is not prioritizing ICT. So I thank NITSTA and the Ministry for continuing with this very important vision of really supporting not only ICTs in general, but the startup community, the innovation ecosystem that needs significant, and I'll take from the Permanent Secretary's catalytic intervention. And that's what we're doing. This is about government. It's about government seeing where do we need to help this innovation ecosystem, these startups to grow. And we will intervene only in those places, and that's exactly what we're doing right now by NITSTA hosting these events and several others support we've given to the innovation system. The second important ingredient is the capital that needs to come into these companies, and that's why I'm here today. So this wasn't really just about being a minister and just doing what was important then. This is something that I really believed in. I really believe then, I still believe now, that ICTs, software entrepreneurship, this is what is in this country. And I believe this so much that my 30 years of professional experience, and I've joined a venture capital company, TLCom, and that's what you see, TLCom Capital. I do an advertisement for them right now. But TLCom, the founding partner, has been coming to Nigeria for many, many years, Mauricio Cham, and I met him while I was a minister. And what was important, why I joined TLCom was for a number of reasons. First of all, they were very interested in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa. In point of fact, we're right now raising trying to raise $100 million in the time technology investments in developing economies, and all that money is going to be deployed in Africa. Specifically, they're looking at the markets of Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya to start off with, but of course, all the other African countries. The second thing that was important was the fact that they have demonstrated that we can actually exit. And this is for the startups in this audience today. We can exit in Africa. Because they keep telling us, oh, we make this money, we don't have a listed market, who are we going to sell the companies to? We hear about this, there's several multi-billion-dollar IPOs in states and other parts of the world. But we can exit companies in Africa. Yes, it starts with a good valuation, but you can be successful entrepreneurs. TLCom has successfully exited 2 African companies. Very, very successful companies that invested in them. So I want to encourage the startups here to know that you can build a strong, sustainable business, scalable business in Africa, and you can actually exit. And also investors, you can actually exit. So that's very important. Government interventions, where it is important, and also the investor community. And And I'm so glad that we have a much bigger investor community here over the next 2 days. I mean, last year we were affected by the Ebola crisis, but nothing has stopped you from coming. And I want to encourage you all, as you know that Africa, I know I started speaking to a number of invest fund managers, and they look at African technology being quite good together. But those of us that may include invest in this, we know that Africa and technology actually do very well together. Africa's problems, Africa's challenges, Africa's opportunities are going to be solved by technology. So I want to just welcome you all again to Nigeria, welcome you to Lagos, which is the hotbed of innovation, but we are looking at the whole of Nigeria. I also want to congratulate the 40 startups that have scaled through. 40 out of 600, that's fantastic. It was 40 out of 300. I think Harry, Neil, Stephen, you're going to have a tough job on your hands next year because you're going to be to 7,000 companies because it's just incredible. I just want to wish you all the best as you make this here. And your companies are growing not only in Africa, but they're growing outside of Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Johnson. And then now, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the close of this session. We should be back here at 11:30. So please let's keep time because we lost about half an hour. So I would request to be back at about 11:30 sharp, please. But let's there's an announcement for the press. The press conference, Microsoft and Ampion have a press conference inside the Ampion bus at the tunnel entrance. Enjoy your break and networking and talk to the startups. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
There is a changing champion boy. Say he wonders very far over land and sea. A little shy,